one of the previous interviews we did, you had briefly mentioned how Gobi and Tracy and Yasmin had been fired, and that they didn't really have much of a right to talk about, if Tupac was getting his proper pay or what. A lot of people wanted to see if I could get you to kind of elaborate more on them being fired, when they were fired, why they were fired, and all that kind of stuff.
Pac is the one that actually fired them. I don't know if it was because of the budget issues or because he wasn't liking the videos that they did. But I know then Rob Johnson video company eventually started taking over, and Kevin Swain, started doing most of the videos. The guy that did California Love, the guy that also did the House of Blues, showing, if they were around and doing stuff, they would have been the ones there at the House of Blues to film that show. Which, if anybody tries to say that they wasn't fired, that right there show you that they didn't do any of his last videos, and they didn't do the one that was in July at the House of Blues. The guy that did California Love, Kevin Swain, did that. We all got to remember that this was a short span that Tupac was on death row. Tupac came home in October, November of '95. His albums came out in February, the end of February 29th or 28th of 1996. Yeah. He died on the 13th of September of 1996. That's a 6-month period. Most, you can ask any of your big artists, I don't know about now, but in 95, 96, you had a 180-day accounting period before record companies had to even send you your royalty statement. Was it 6 months from March the 1st to September the 13th? Was that even 6 months yet?
Yeah.
So 6 months, right at 6 months? But we know that they were.
If it were 6 months, it was right at 6 months.
Right at 6 months. We know that they were fired at least before June, because I can't say the dates right now, but I know they didn't do the production at the House of Blues. So I know that means they were fired prior to that.
Well, Gobi does have some footage from outside the House of Blues concert of Fatal getting arrested before the show for having the gun, which I don't know if that means. I don't know if that means
exactly.
Anything.
Yeah. Or if he bought it, or if he got it from somebody else. You know, but Tracy and them was not around at that time. They were not around. Okay, that's fine though. But still, why is he doing all this stuff? Why is he? There's no basis for it. I mean, even if, like I said, so, he wouldn't have started being accounted, royalties are accounted to him until about September. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have been in the car with Suge Knight if he was having money issues with them. He wouldn't have been, after MTV and Music Awards, 5 or 6 days before then, if there was accounting issue. He wouldn't have been 2 days before he get killed, doing the How Do You Want It, Toss It Up video remake. Well, we had to take Aaron Hall out of the video. He wouldn't have redid all of that. Yeah. Did Tracy and them do that video? Did they do that video?
No, they didn't do the Toss It Up one. No.
Exactly. Yeah, they wasn't around. They were gone.
Yeah.
One thing about us, we stuck with the people. We messed with the people that we was messing with at that time. Now people got fired in between the time, but with Suge, he's loyal to the ones that he deal with. He didn't jump around. He didn't go and shop for the best deal. He messed with who we messed with at that time.
Gotcha. Okay, because Gobi's doing a film with the footage that he had. Well, actually, he's not even using the footage he has, from what I understand. He's doing a crowdfunding project where fans can fund this movie that he's wanting to make, and basically the synopsis of the movie is it's about him and the last 7 days of Tupac in the hospital in Vegas, and he says that he was there as security for Tupac during those nights while he was in the hospital in Vegas. Have you seen this campaign, and do you have any reaction to it?
No, and he's a liar. Trust me, he wasn't no security. He wasn't up there. I have security. I have security that got fired from their jobs as police officers or investigated for standing outside the door. Guy Mitch McCauley was investigated by LAPD, who, you know, the nurses and all of them said, you know, identified him when the internal affairs department came and investigated that he was still, you know, working for Wrightway and Tupac and stuff like that in Las Vegas. Cody, why would he be doing security? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, but it's good. You know, who's gonna refute it? You know, people can say what they want to say. Frank, I don't blame him. You would think Frank and Tupac was best friends if you didn't know. If you just listen to everything that they said. Frank hadn't worked with Tupac until that night for 2 months prior to that. He had been on vacation or took off for a while. Once they came back from Paris and that night. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he worked that night at the House of Blue concert.
I think he was. I know in that footage there, you know, you can see him outside the House of Blues. I don't know who he was working, if he was working Tupac, but there is in that footage.
I know that was like his last time. I know after that he went on vacation.
Okay.
I don't even think he worked that whole night. I think Hacky took over there.
Yeah. I know the on-stage photos. It's Hacky on Tupac. Yeah. So, now in this crowdfunding thing that Gobi is doing to get his movie done or whatever, he mentioned that he drafted up a letter that would fire Suge Knight as Tupac's manager and also fire KENNER as Tupac's lawyer, which is the story we've heard a million times. People says that Tupac fired them, whatever. Gobi now claims that he was the one who drafted up the letter, that Tupac signed it, and that Gobi faxed it to, they claim, to you guys, basically relinquishing Suge as his manager and KENNER as his lawyer. I know we've already talked about this before, but just to be clear, is there any truth to that? And what is your reaction to him claiming that he drafted this letter that Tupac signed it?
And he might have did. He might have did something like that. Tupac was spontaneous like that to get Suge's attention whenever Suge didn't respond to him. Mm. I got a letter before from Tupac talking about he fired my security company. And I said, fine. And I didn't send no security for a day. And
can you remember when this was, when you got that letter?
I don't know. It was one day, but it was during I remember the night of, it was when Keyshawn Johnson had a draft party. We was at the House of Blues. And I had 2 security guards there, but I had a security guard with Park there. And I remember saying, oh no, Park my security. And Park laughed, and he just laughed, and she was like, Reggie, don't play like that. Park don't pay you no way. I'll pay you. So, they'll roll pay you. And you might get billed back, but, so Park was spontaneous like that. So I'm saying that might have happened. But if it did happen, it's the stupidest thing. Because David KENNER had him out on an appeal bond. Who's going to take over this appeal bond then? This is something that you go back to jail immediately if you're not dealing with that appeal bond. Mm.
So if
people think like, who did he hire to replace David KENNER and to dealing with his appeal bond? So
yeah.
I mean, you don't mess with people that have your freedom in your hand like that. These are the people that put up a appeal bond for you, that's fighting the case to try to keep you out of jail. Do you do that? if you don't have something in place. I mean,
right.
if I have my own money to have it in place, that's one thing. That is not what Pop is.
Yeah.
He was glad to be out of jail. He still had a 4-year tail. If he would have been, you know, if he wouldn't have got it overturned.
Yeah. Now, a lot of those people like Gobi and them, they love to claim that Tupac was extremely unhappy with death row the time he was on death row. From you being around him and you going to events with him and you being in on, you know, personal conversations between Tupac and Suge, would you agree that he was unhappy with death row, or would you say the complete opposite?
Man, he got to record. He had a recording studio every night. He would film 2 movies. People forget what he did in this little 8-month period of his life. He was too busy to be unhappy. This man was trying to do all of this stuff because he was scared that he was going back to jail. But when you're scared that you're going back to jail, why would you be making people mad or people that got you out? Nobody else stepped up to get him out of jail. Interscope didn't get that man out of jail. And he had just had stolen a media records for them. Death Row was the one who went up there and got the man out of jail. Put up, had Interscope put up the $1.5 million to get him out. Had an attorney to go in and do. Don't make sense.
Yeah.
He had no money on his books. Suge put $15,000 on his books.
And
while he was in jail, before even thinking about trying to sign it. Right. Even thinking that was a possibility of him being signed.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that this possibly could have happened, nor was that Suge's motive when he helped his mother get a house and helped, put money on his book. That wasn't his motive. It was just a guy that he knew that was a talented artist that he wanted to help. As they met and talked and got conversation, and then that's when I'm sure David KENNER said, well, we can do this to get him out. We can do this and we can do this.